tunghayan po natin ang special coverage ng press briefing sa Palasyo ng Malacañang.
Magandang umaga Malacañang Press Corps at welcome sa weekly economic press briefing. Kamakailan po ay naglabas ng impormasyon ng Philippine Statistics Authority patungkol sa inflation kung saan naitala ang 3.3% na inflation rate para sa buwan ng Marso. Patuloy po ang pagbaba nito mula sa naitalang 4.4% noong Enero at 3.8% noong Pebrero ng taong ito. Ang inflation rate po natin noong Marso ang pinakamababa mula nang magsimula ang taong 2018. Ang pababang trend na ito ng inflation ay isa pong indikasyon na epektibo ang mga isinasagawang hakbang ng mga economic managers ng Duterte Cabinet upang tugunan ang mga hinaing ng ating mga kababayan. Magandang balita din po mula sa katatapos lang na press conference ng PSA patungkol sa poverty statistics ng first half of 2018, bumaba po sa 21% ang poverty incidence sa buong bansa noong first half ng 2018. Isa po sa mga hakbang ng pamahalaan para tulungan ang mga consumers ay ang pagbabantay ng mga presyo ng mga pangunahing bilihin sa merkado. Sinusigurado po ng pamahalaan na walang mga mananamantala sa mga presyo ng basic necessities and prime commodities at upang bigyan po ng kaalaman ng publiko sa mga tamang presyo ng bilihin at mga hakbang ng pamahalaan para proteksyonan ang mga mamimili. Narito po si DTI Undersecretary Ruth Castelo.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Inflation rate at 3.3% is a result of the collaborative efforts and initiatives of the different agencies in the economic cluster of the national government. For the part of DTI, we have succeeded in lowering or maintaining the price of basic necessities and prime commodities under the mandate of the DTI in the Price Act. And as the country moves closer to the liberalization of rice importation, the price of locally produced rice, both at Farmgate and retail levels, continued to fall at the latter part of March 2019. PSA data showed that during the third week of March, Farmgate prices of palay, as well as the average and wholesale prices for well-milled and regular milled rice have all gone down. Average Farmgate price of palay has been on a downtrend for the past 2 weeks, failing by 0.26%. This translates to the current price of 18.98 per kilogram from the price of 19.03 per kilogram. Compared to the same period last year, Farmgate price of palay has dropped by 6.96% from the price level of 20.40 per kilogram. PSA has also recorded lower wholesale and retail prices for well-milled rice during the third week of March, and we can continue to monitor this in the market. And as of this morning, we have observed the lower price of rice per kilo. Average retail price of well-milled rice, on the other hand, has fallen by 0.20% to 44.33 pesos per kilo from 44.42 per kilo week on week. It has, however, gone down by 2.10% from the same week of previous year's level of 43.42 per kilogram. At the wholesale trade, the average price of regular milled rice retreated by 0.35% to 37.18 per kilo from 37.31 per kilo week on week. It has slightly gone up from last year's price level of 37.12 per kilo. Among the initiatives of the national government is also the rice liberalization, and as expectations come for the influx of imported rice, prices has gone down in the market. Tempering the prices of rice in the market has contributed hugely in the deceleration of inflation as a staple agricultural commodity in the basket of goods, measured for inflation rate readings. The IRR on rice tariffication law, as we all know, has been signed last April 5, 2019. Among the salient provisions in the IRR are the guidelines on the President's powers and the enforcement of safeguard measures in case of emergency situations like the sudden rise and drop in domestic prices. IRR likewise provides guidance on the reorganization of the NFA following the repeal of its regulatory powers and the change of its functions to maintenance and management of the country's buffer stocking. The Rice Trade Liberalization Act liberalizes importation, exportation, and trading of rice. This law lifts the quantitative import restriction on rice and is substituted by tariff. The law allows private traders to apply for unlimited importation of grain as long as they secure the necessary permits and pay the proper duties set at 35% for rice sourced outside for rice sourced from the ASEAN and 40% for non-ASEAN with a minimum access volume of 350,000 metric tons, going up to 180% for out-quota imports. The law calls for establishment of the 10 billion Rice Competitiveness Enhancement Fund, which will be utilized to provide different forms of assistance to the country's rice farmers. As of December 2018, the Department of Budget and Management had already allocated the amount of 5 billion pesos in anticipation of the income that will be sourced from the rice tariffication law. The DTI, DOF, DA, and NEDA are set to convene various traders in the country to discuss about the provisions of the law, the streamlined rice importation procedures, and the benefits of the liberalized regime, among other related matters that will be taken up in the Rice Industry Forum. On the part of DTI, we have intensified monitoring since July 2018. We have already included around 600 firms from the 400 firms that were regularly monitored by the department, in addition to the 500 additional firms monitored in the regions and provinces in the country. We also conducted special market monitoring activities on agricultural products in order to assist the Department of Agriculture. This was done by the DTI chairing the National Price Coordinating Council. We conduct regular monitoring in 789 stalls in 27 wet markets across Metro Manila. We also are able to generate reports from the regional and provincial offices on agricultural products. We issue letters of inquiry as we intensified monitoring activities. We have issued so far around 153 LOIs nationwide. This is included in the monitoring activities that we conduct on 158 firms, 58 supermarkets, 71 groceries, and 24 market stalls. We also last year sought the assistance of the Department of Interior and Local Government to reactivate the LPCC, or the Local Price Coordinating Council, and as a result of DTI's request to DILG, the department issued Memorandum Circular number 201-124 dated August 14, 2018. We also made an appeal to the Metro Manila Council. We sought an audience with the Metro Manila Development Authority chairman, who gave us an audience with the Metro Manila mayors, as we requested them to closely monitor basic necessities and prime commodities in their respective areas. We also had we continue to have a strong partnership with market administrators. This is on the agricultural side, but DTI is doing this as assistance to the Department of Agriculture. To date, the Metro Manila market masters and administrators are actively engaged with DTI to make sure that we can closely monitor the prices of agricultural products sold in wet markets. We also expanded the suggested retail price bulletin for basic necessities and prime commodities to include an additional shelf-keeping unit that are previously not included in the SRP bulletin of DTI. From 162 shelf-keeping units, we increased it to 241 SKUs to include even premium products. So 3-in-1 coffee and salt, both with no SRP in the past, are now included in the expanded list. Goods with additional brands and SKUs include canned sardines and tomato sauce, processed milk, coffee refill, instant noodles, detergent, laundry, soap, condiments, and toilet soap. These are among the prime commodities under the mandate of DTI. We also requested last year the manufacturers of basic necessities and prime commodities if it was possible for them to hold off price increases as the prices of raw materials increased and as the peso value fluctuated. During that time, we were happy that the manufacturers acceded to our request and held off price increases for 3 months until December 2018. We also requested them to saturate the market with lower end or lower variant shelf keeping units, which they did, and which our consumers found in the market. We requested as well the institution of a suggested retail price on agricultural products such as chicken, dressed chicken, and the Department of Agriculture issued Administrative Circular Number 04, Series of 2018, implementing in Metro Manila the suggested retail price at least for regular milled rice, some items on fish like bangus and galunggong, red and white onion, and imported and local garlic. The DTI also implemented DTI Suking Tindahan. This is to ensure that reasonably priced basic and prime goods are available even at the sari-sari store level. We launched the DTI Suking Tindahan in August of 2018. The key element of the program is the linkage of the recognized Suking Tindahan to the authorized distributors of manufacturers of basic and prime goods. This ensures that the sari-sari stores are able to sell basic and prime goods within or below the suggested retail price. This program is open to major sari-sari stores, wholesalers, and cooperatives that sell BNPCs within or lower than the suggested retail price. We also made an initiative to understand Farmgate prices of agricultural products. So in assistance to the Department of Agriculture, the DTI endeavored to engage the pork and livestock producers as well as poultry producers so that we would know the reasonable profit margin for retailers to sell their products in the market. We have engaged with the United Broilers and Raisers Association, the Pork Producers Federation of the Philippines, and the Philippine Poultry Integrated Alliance. According to producers, the reasonable price markup for chicken is 50 pesos while 70 pesos is for pork. This already includes profit margin for all players in the supply chain. DTI, incidentally, announces Farmgate prices for pork and chicken every Saturday in a regular program. Reforms are also proposed by the Economic Development Cluster when in August 2018, inflation hit 6.4%. The EDC convened on September 5, 2018 to address the inflationary effects on food prices. And the cluster recommended reforms as follows. On fish, the DA committed to replicate the issuance of certificates of necessity to allow imports to be distributed in the wet market in Metro Manila and to other markets in the country. On rice, 4.6 million sacks of rice available in NFA warehouses were immediately released to markets across the country. Approximately 2 million sacks of rice previously contracted were delivered last September 2018. The NFA Council also authorized importation of around 5 million sacks of rice. 2.7 million were allocated to Zamboanga, Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi to address the reported shortage in those provinces at that time. Pursuant to the recommendation of the economic managers to further simplify and streamline licensing procedures for rice imports of the NFA, the President at that time also issued Administrative Order Number 13 on the removal of non-tariff barriers and streamlining of administrative procedures on the importation of agricultural products. The NFA Council also appealed to the Senate to immediately pass the rice tariffication bill, which is now finally a law, and the IRR having been finally signed as well. The DTI, NFA, PNP, and NBI also conducted monitoring activities in rice warehouses outside Metro Manila. On chicken, we have endeavored to reduce the gap between the Farmgate and retail prices through convening the poultry producers for the setting up of public markets where producers are able to directly sell their products to consumers. On sugar, the Sugar Regulatory Administration opened importation of sugar to direct users to moderate the cost to consumers. Up to now, DTI stands firm in its position that the price of sugar should only range between 50 pesos and 55 pesos per kilo. We also conducted the producer-to-consumer market program in order to address the effects of inflation in the past year. We conceptualized this P2C market program wherein the department, in cooperation with the DA and the different local government units, putting up suking outlets within Metro Manila where producers of agricultural products are able to directly sell their products to the consumers. We tried to remove the middle players in the supply chain where BNPCs can be sold at a very low price, much lower than the retail price that we will find in the regular market. DTI also, with the help of the NFA and the Philippine Amalgamated Supermarkets Association Incorporated, entered into a memorandum of agreement to enable the Pag-asa accredited supermarkets to be able to sell NFA rice at the mandated price of 27 and 32. This happened across the country, which we believe has helped in bringing down the price of rice. The DTI also initiated the Presyong Reasonable Dapat program, or the PRD program, where in coordination with the DA and SRA, established the PRD program allowing retailers to directly import rice and sugar and sell these at prices not higher than 38 pesos per kilo for rice and at 50 pesos per kilo for sugar. This was done by DTI long before the signing of the rice tariffication law. Currently, rice imported under the PRD program are still sold nationwide in big supermarkets such as SM Supermarket, Walter Mart, Shopwise, Metro Gaisano, Pure Gold, Isetan, and Robinsons. The price range of rice now currently sold in supermarkets is 34 to 38 pesos per kilo. We have also increased consumer awareness on facts and figures pertaining to prices and the DTI's engagement with government for the protection of consumer rights. Consumers are provided with easier access to government for any and all consumer concerns through the launching of the 1DTI or 1384 consumer hotline and the consumercare@dti.gov.ph email address. We also sought the support of the Department of Energy, where we requested if they can give discounts or subsidies to manufacturers of basic necessities and prime commodities to help us curb inflation. As of the moment, we have ongoing efforts such as the continuing convention of the National Price Coordinating Council. Another meeting will be held at 2 o'clock today to make sure that government is ready to address the effects of El Nino on agricultural products. The NPCC will particularly do a close watch on the effects of El Nino on the price and supply of agri-products. The possibility of a stronger and prolonged El Nino episode, together with a continued rise in global crude oil prices, provide upside price pressures over the near term, and this is why government needs to be ready. The NPCC intends to come up with measures to mitigate the effects of El Nino on price and supply of agri-products this afternoon. DTI's continued efforts for ensuring reasonable prices. We see the benefits of the P2C program, and we have been continuing this as well as the Suking Tindahan program, which will be intensified this year despite the decelerating inflation rate. We are also closely coordinating with the Department of Agriculture to help us to give us the authority to be able to continue monitoring agricultural products. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yusek. Questions, Pia?
Hi, ma'am. Ma'am, is DTI also monitoring the increase in the prices of sugar? Kasi there were reports that last April to sugar prices went as high as 68 pesos per kilo daw, even though the Sugar Regulatory Administration had said that there was no shortage in the supply.
Yes, yes. DTI continues to monitor sugar. We have included that in our list. And we insist that price of sugar should only be at 50 pesos, maximum at 55 pesos per kilo. The DTI, in our efforts to help the Department of Agriculture and SRA, we issued notices of violation actually to retailers selling sugar at a higher price than 55 pesos. We inquire from them as to the source and why the price is higher, much higher than the expected retail price.
So in short, ma'am, there's no need for them to raise the prices of sugar right now?
No. The SRA already said that there is sufficient supply of sugar in the Philippine market, so there is no reason. We understand that some retailers initiate and increase the price even without the...
Okay, and PC questions? Ina? Or Joseph?
Hi, ma'am. Ma'am, you talked about the price of rice, which appears to be on a downtrend. Can you tell us again how much yung prevailing price ngayon, and as far as how low do you see this going down? At what point will it? At what price point will it settle?
DTI is actually looking at as low as 32 pesos. We're expecting price of rice to go down by 5 to 7 pesos per kilo. And we actually see in the market now, premium rice sold at 34 pesos.
Yung at saan at from what price point yung 5 to 7, ma'am, nag-start?
39 pesos. The suggested retail price of the Department of Agriculture on rice still existing is 39 pesos. So we're expecting that to go down by 5 to 7 pesos.
Yun na yung magiging settling point, you think?
Yes, but there probably might not be any need for SRP pag bumaba na yung presyo.
Okay. This is for what type of rice, ma'am?
Regular, well-milled rice.
Okay, Joseph?
Ma'am, ano po yung, when you mentioned it kanina in passing, yung effect ng El Nino sa agricultural products? Because we had a report yesterday, sa Baguio yata natutuyo yung mga gulay doon. So, in anticipation of the effect of El Nino on the prices, what effect do you think will El Nino have on the prices of agricultural products, like gulay, for example?
Particularly vegetables, gulay talaga yung binabantayan natin because of the drought now happening in several regions in the country. So production has halted, I understand, and we intend to address this through the NPCC by finding out how we can help the farmers continue production or minimize at least the ill effects of El Nino.
In terms of effect on prices, will we be able to quantify already?
Yes, if there is low production in the countryside, supply will decrease and then prices will go higher because there is less supply. So we want to address that immediately, and we are actually looking at how to help the farmers continue producing despite the El Nino.
So we can say now that we can expect the prices of vegetables to go up because of El Nino.
Yes, it is a possibility.
But hindi naman sobrang exorbitant?
Hindi naman siguro. That's why government is here. We want to minimize the effects. There will be definitely effects on agricultural products. We cannot deny that.
And the assistance, of course, would be, paano yun? Kung wala talagang tubig, walang tuyo yung lupa, how do you assist them?
We'll see how. We'll see how. It's going to be discussed this afternoon. We'll see how we can help DA, help the farmers.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Okay, ang PC may tanong pa. RJ?
Although you will discuss this afternoon, but ma'am, what are some possible ways kaya that the government can help our farmers continue with their production?
Top of mind would be irrigation, how we can keep the water supply flowing in the fields.
All right.
MPC, may tanong pa? Danielle, PTV.
Ma'am, good afternoon. Ma'am, in terms of inflation, from 3.3, ano pa po yung in-expect natin na improvement in the coming months?
If El Nino will not intensify in the coming months, we expect it to go down some more.
May ano na ba, figure or number?
Wala pa kaming figure.
Okay.
Thank you.
May tanong pa? Joseph?
Ma'am, patulong na lang dun sa price. Ano nga yung basket na tinatawag natin?
Basket of goods,
May term dyan that you measure for inflation.
consumer basket.
And so, yung mga laman nun, ma'am, dapat ano yung mga presyo? Can you help me out? Para lang alam ng ating mga
Presyo?
mamimili. For example, chicken should be at what point?
Okay.
The pork, yung mga ganun lang.
Chicken from the Farmgate price should be Farmgate price plus 50 pesos only for chicken. That's the maximum. If Farmgate price of chicken is at 70 pesos, should be sold on retail at 120 pesos. This would already include dressing fee, the trader's fee, and the vendor's profit. For pork, it should be Farmgate price plus 70 pesos. This would already include slaughtering fee, trader's fee, and the vendor's profit. Fish right now, galunggong is supposed to be at 90 pesos per kilo. That's why we're closely watching it. We received information. Meron kasing mga retailers na hindi agad nagko-comply.
Pero should be
Should-
90 is okay?
90 to 100
Okay.
for round cad.
Sa pork farm. Ma'am, yung farm gate, yun yung medyo variable nyo? So depend...
The
bigyan
base
nyo-
price.
Yeah. Pwede bang halimbawa yung estimate na lang ng... For graphics lang.
For pork is Farmgate price. Average Farmgate price of pork this week is at 120 pesos. So per kilo should be bought at 190 pesos per kilo. Some retailers comply with the Farmgate price plus 70. Some retailers don't. Depende where they get. That's why we're trying to address the layers also between the producer and the retailer.
Eggs, ma'am.
Egg should be 450 average.
Okay, yun lang naman siguro yung kailangan ng...
Okay, no more questions? RJ?
Ma'am, how prepared is the government for the El Nino?
We're preparing for it. NDRRMC is on it already, and the DA is on it already. But of course, this is a whole of government approach. That's why it's going to be taken up in the NPCC to make sure that we are all prepared.
But I'm sure last year pa lang nakita na yun, diba? That it's going to happen this year, but...
Pag-asa said it is not foreseen as far as 1 year. Pag-asa said that it happens because this is climate change. So na-foresee nila not as far back as 1 year.
So it's understandable na ngayon pa lang po tayo nagpre-prepare.
Hindi naman ngayon lang nagpa-prepare. DA, like I said, DA and NDRRMC are prepared. But because this is a whole of government approach, it's going to be taken up in the NPCC so that we can all help DA and NDRRMC.
Thank you.
Okay. No more questions, MPC? Okay, thank you, DTI Undersecretary
very
Ruth
much.
Castelo. Thank you, MPC. Back to our main studio sa Radyo Pilipinas and People's Television Network.